Japanese Prime Minister has asked global chip makers to invest more in Japan following the country's efforts to boost its chip sector.
He announced an economic stimulus package, a package worth $113 billion.
Japan's semiconductor industry is receiving a significant boost as Taiwanese chip makers expand their presence in Asia's third largest economy.
Minutes ago, Japan's Prime Minister revealed an insane billion-dollar plan to boost the country's semiconductor and artificial intelligence industries over the next 10 years. The core of this effort? They say they won't borrow money to make it happen, but with national debt already sky high, it sounds like a stretch. Let us dive in and see if this bold move can truly pull this country out of its tech slump, or if it's destined for disaster. Inside Japan's bid to reclaim tech dominance, Shigeru Ishiba has rolled out this massive plan worth $65 billion, and it's all about supercharging the country's semiconductor and artificial intelligence industries. Let's face it, this seems like a desperate attempt to catch up to the big tech game they've been trailing for quite some time. The initiative is supposed to spark more than 50 trillion yen in public and private investments. That's a lot of zeros, and it feels like they're throwing big numbers around to make it seem like they mean business this time. There's one key element in this plan that no one saw coming. A move so bold it could either catapult this nation to the forefront of the tech world or send it spiraling into chaos. And the stakes? Let's just say they're higher than anyone imagined. Stay tuned. This venture is called Rapidest Foundry, which honestly sounds like something a branding committee came up with to make it sound fast and flashy. The idea is to produce advanced chips, and they're collaborating with IBM and some European tech group called IMEC. They're aiming to have these high-tech chips ready by 2027. Let's be real, 2027 is just far enough away that people might forget if it doesn't work out, but close enough to keep the hype alive. Apparently, all this funding won't come from deficit-covering bonds. In other words, they're not planning to borrow more money, or at least that's the story they want us to buy into. It's all part of a broader economic strategy to deal with global supply chain disruptions that have been affecting everyone, especially with all the tension between the United States and China. Trade wars, tech bans, and all that drama have made supply chains a mess. Japan's trying to play it smart and not get left out in the cold when it comes to tech. The government is planning to push this proposal in the upcoming parliamentary session, and they're even working on drafting specific laws for these next-generation chips, whether Parliament is going to give it the green light or not. That's anyone's guess. The whole thing is being sold as a major move for the future of the economy. But let's be honest, it's hard not to be a bit skeptical. $65 billion is a big number, and when you're relying on both public and private money, you have to wonder if all that cash is really going to come through like they hope. It's definitely a bold move to try and stay relevant. Japan doesn't want to get left in the dust by other tech giants like South Korea, the United States, or China, who have all been pouring billions into similar initiatives. Whether this is just another flashy promise, or if it'll actually pull the nation back into the tech spotlight remains to be seen. The truth is, the Japanese nation has a long history of being a major player in the tech world. Remember back in the day when companies like Sony, Panasonic, and Toshiba were at the cutting edge of electronics? Back then, the country was leading the charge in everything from consumer electronics to industrial robotics. But things have changed. Over the last few decades, dominance has been overtaken by countries that manage to be more innovative, faster, and willing to take risks. The rise of South Korea and China as tech powerhouses, not to mention the unyielding lead of the United States, has left this nation playing catch-up. This new plan is clearly an effort to reverse that trend, but let's not kid ourselves. It's an uphill battle. Even if they do manage to get these chips produced by 2027, the world isn't going to sit still and wait for Japan to catch up. IBM and IMEC are decent partners, sure, but they aren't exactly leading the semiconductor revolution these days. The Rapidest Foundry plan seems ambitious, but ambition alone doesn't always translate to success, especially in an industry as cutthroat as semiconductors. One of the major challenges is the sheer complexity of semiconductor manufacturing. We're talking about a process that requires mind-boggling precision, specialized materials, and a whole lot of expertise. And let's not forget the insane costs that come with building these facilities. State-of-the-art foundries are some of the most expensive industrial projects in the world. Taiwan, with its TSMC, has been leading the pack for a reason. They've mastered this process over decades, building relationships and expertise that are difficult, if not impossible, to replicate overnight. Japan knows this too, which is why they're talking up the collaboration with IBM and IMEC. But the truth is, those partnerships are just one piece of the puzzle. You also need the right supply chains, the skilled workforce, and the technological know-how to make it all work. And even then, it's a gamble. The semiconductor industry is notorious for being volatile, with massive swings in demand and supply that can make or break even the biggest players. And speaking of supply chains, that's really what's driving all of this, isn't it? The world has seen firsthand how fragile the supply chain for semiconductors can be. The pandemic, along with geopolitical tensions, exposed just how dependent we all are on a few key players. The United States has been scrambling to secure its chip supply, China's been trying to boost its self-reliance, and Europe's been talking about the same thing. Japan is just following the trend, trying to make sure it's not caught out in the future without access to the chips it needs for its industries. The government is framing this as a national security issue, and in a way, they're not wrong. Semiconductors are in everything: cars, medical equipment, consumer electronics, and even military systems. If you don't have a steady supply of chips, you're in trouble. That's why this whole thing isn't just about economics. It's about making sure it stays secure and self-sufficient in an increasingly unpredictable world. But despite the bold talk, there are some big questions hanging over this plan. Where exactly is all this money going to come from? They're saying it won't be from deficit-covering bonds, but Japan already has one of the highest levels of public debt in the world. Are they planning to redirect funds from other areas? Are they counting on private companies to chip in a significant portion? These are important questions, and so far, there haven't been many clear answers. The stakes keep getting higher. Now let's look at the potential risks ahead. Japan's struggle to compete in the semiconductor revolution. And then there's the question of whether Japan's private sector is really up for this kind of challenge. Companies have historically been cautious when it comes to massive investments, especially in areas as risky as semiconductor manufacturing. Unlike in the United States or China, where companies like Intel or SMIC are willing to take big risks backed by government support, the corporate culture tends to be more risk-averse. It's hard to see how that's going to change overnight, even with government incentives. There's also the talent issue. Semiconductor manufacturing isn't just about machines and money. It's about people. You need highly skilled engineers, technicians, and scientists who understand the intricacies of chip production. And right now, there's a global shortage of that kind of talent. The best minds are being snapped up by the likes of TSMC, Samsung, and Intel. Japan is going to have to work really hard to attract and retain the talent it needs, and that's easier said than done. On top of all that, the global semiconductor landscape is changing fast. New technologies like quantum computing, AI-driven chip design, and advanced packaging are reshaping the industry. By the time Japan's Rapidest Foundry is up and running, the game might have changed completely. There's always the risk that they'll be playing catch-up to an industry that has already moved on to the next big thing. And let's not forget about the competition. South Korea is already miles ahead, with Samsung investing billions in its semiconductor division. China, despite all the sanctions and restrictions, is pouring massive resources into building up its semiconductor capabilities. The United States, under its CHIPS Act, is offering huge subsidies to companies willing to set up shop domestically. Japan is trying to keep pace, but it's not clear if this plan will be enough to put it back in the lead, or even in the race. Then there's the question of what kind of chips Japan is planning to make. Advanced logic chips for artificial intelligence and high-performance computing are where the money and prestige are, but they're also the hardest to produce. These chips require the latest in manufacturing technology, and only a few companies in the world have been able to pull it off successfully. If the Japanese nation is aiming for that level, they've got a tough road ahead. On the other hand, there's a huge market for older, less advanced chips, the kind used in cars, appliances, and other everyday devices. This might be a more realistic target, at least in the short term. But if they go that route, they'll be competing on cost, and that's a tough game when you're up against countries like China that can produce at a much lower cost. So what's the takeaway here? A bold play to get back into the semiconductor game, and they're throwing a lot of money at it. But there are a ton of challenges in their way: technical, financial, and geopolitical. The world isn't going to stop and wait for Japan to catch up, and the semiconductor industry is one of the most competitive, fast-moving industries out there. It's a high-stakes gamble. If it pays off, Japan could re-establish itself as a major player in one of the most critical industries of the 21st century. If it doesn't, they'll have spent a whole lot of money for not much return. Only time will tell if this is the start of a tech renaissance or just another well-intentioned but ultimately unsuccessful effort to reclaim past glory. Japan's journey in artificial intelligence is a testament to its dedication to technological innovation and its cultural fascination with robotics. From early mechanical dolls to advanced humanoid robots, the country has consistently been at the forefront of AI and robotics development. The roots of Japanese robotics trace back to the Edo period, 1600 through 1867, with the creation of karakuri ningyo, or mechanical dolls. These intricate automata were designed for entertainment and religious purposes, capable of performing tasks like serving tea or firing arrows. Craftsmen like Hisashige Tanaka, often referred to as Japan's Edison, were instrumental in developing these complex mechanical toys. In 1796, the publication of Karakuri Zui, an illustrated machinery, documented these creations, highlighting the country's early interest in automata. In 1928, biologist Makoto Nishimura designed and constructed Gakutensoku, considered Japan's first robot. Unlike Western robots of the time, which were often depicted as menacing, Gakutensoku was designed to symbolize nature and humanity's harmony. It could change facial expressions and move its head and hands, reflecting a unique approach to robotics. The post-war era saw the emergence of Astro Boy Tetsuwan Adamu, a manga and anime series created by Osamu Tezuka in the 1950s. Astro Boy, a robot with human emotions, became a cultural icon and significantly influenced the perception of robots as friendly and beneficial beings. This positive portrayal contributed to the nation's enthusiasm for robotics and artificial intelligence development. In 1967, Waseda University initiated the Wabot project, aiming to develop humanoid robots. By 1972, they completed Wabot 1, the world's first full-scale humanoid intelligent robot. It could walk, grip objects, and communicate in Japanese, marking a significant milestone in robotics. In 1984, Wabot 2 was introduced, capable of reading musical scores and playing the organ, showcasing advancements in robotic dexterity and perception. In 1982, Japan launched the fifth-generation Computer Systems Project, aiming to develop computers that could perform tasks requiring human-like intelligence, such as natural language understanding and logical inference. The project emphasized parallel processing and logic programming languages like Prolog. Although it faced challenges and did not achieve all its ambitious goals, FGCS spurred global interest in AI and led to increased research and development efforts worldwide. The 1990s and early 2000s witnessed significant advancements in humanoid robotics. In 1996, Honda unveiled P2, a humanoid robot capable of walking and climbing stairs. This development culminated in the creation of Asimo in 2000, a robot that could run, recognize faces, and interact with humans, symbolizing the country's leadership in robotics. Let's now explore how a unique cultural perspective has shaped its approach to artificial intelligence and robotics. Shaping industry, healthcare, and finance for the future. In recent years, Japan has integrated artificial intelligence across various sectors, including manufacturing, healthcare, and finance. Companies like Toyota and Honda have invested in AI-powered robots to enhance production processes. In healthcare, assists in diagnostics and patient care, addressing challenges posed by an aging population. The finance sector utilizes it for fraud detection and customer service, reflecting the technology's broad applicability. The government has embraced the concept of Society 5.0, envisioning a human-centric society where artificial intelligence and other technologies address societal challenges. This vision aims to create a super-smart society by integrating cyberspace and physical space, leveraging artificial intelligence to improve quality of life and promote sustainable development. As of 2024, Japan continues to be a global leader in AI research and application. The nation focuses on developing technologies that align with its cultural values and societal needs, emphasizing harmony between humans and machines. With ongoing investments in education, research, and industry collaboration, it is poised to make significant contributions to the global landscape in the coming years. Nations' history with artificial intelligence reflects a unique blend of cultural influences, technological ambition, and a commitment to leveraging for societal benefit. From early mechanical dolls to advanced humanoid robots and AI-integrated industries, this journey continues to inspire and lead on the global stage. Artificial intelligence is profoundly influencing the nation's economic, social, and political landscapes. Strategic initiatives, regulatory frameworks, and industry adaptations underscore a commitment to harnessing artificial intelligence potential while addressing associated challenges. The approach to regulation balances innovation with safety. In April 2024, the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications and the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry jointly released the AI Guidelines for Business version 1.0. These guidelines provide non-binding recommendations for developers, providers, and users, promoting responsible artificial intelligence development and deployment. Additionally, Japan has been instrumental in shaping international AI governance. The Hiroshima AI process, initiated during the Group of Seven presidency in May 2023, led to the creation of the Hiroshima AI Process Comprehensive Policy Framework. This framework includes guiding principles and a code of conduct for organizations developing advanced systems, emphasizing safety, security, and trustworthiness. Artificial intelligence integration into various industries is transforming the economic landscape. In the retail sector, major supermarket chain Aeon implemented an AI-powered smile rating system across 240 stores to enhance customer service by evaluating employees' facial expressions and voice tones. While aimed at standardizing customer experiences, this initiative has faced criticism over concerns about employee well-being and the ethical implications of AI monitoring. In the entertainment industry, AI is poised to revolutionize anime production. Sony's streaming platform, Crunchyroll, has expanded anime's global reach, and generative tools are expected to reduce production costs and time. However, challenges such as copyright issues and the potential impact on creative jobs persist. The animation sector also grapples with AI's implications. Industry veteran Shoji Kawamori acknowledges inevitability for cost and speed efficiency, but emphasizes that AI cannot replicate human emotion and creativity. He suggests it might handle mechanical tasks, potentially affecting junior animators who rely on such work for career advancement. On May 24, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida unveiled an international framework for generative AI governance during a meeting at the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development in Paris. This initiative aims to promote safe and trustworthy artificial intelligence development globally. Furthermore, the AI Strategy Council has been actively discussing the need for domestic AI legislation to align with international standards and address emerging challenges. These discussions reflect a proactive stance in shaping policies that balance innovation with ethical considerations. Japan's multifaceted approach to artificial intelligence encompasses significant economic investments, the development of comprehensive regulatory frameworks, and active participation in international governance. While artificial intelligence offers transformative opportunities across various sectors, the country remains vigilant about addressing ethical, social, and economic challenges to ensure that AI's integration benefits society as a whole. Will these bold moves secure a technological resurgence or become another costly misstep? Let us know what you think below. Like and subscribe for more insights.